Well, hello, Michael here. Looking today again at Psalms 39, specifically verse 1 for the exposition. This psalm, which is subtitled, "What is the measure of my days?" And the verse reads, "I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle, while the wicked is before me." And so we look to the treasure of David for the exposition. In verse 1, I said, I steadily resolved and registered a determination. In his great perplexity, his greatest fear was lest he should sin, and therefore he cast about for the most likely method for avoiding it, and he determined to be silent. It is right excellent when a man can strengthen himself in a good course by the remembrance of a well and wisely formed resolve. What I have written, or what I have spoken, I will perform, may prove a good strengthener to a man in a fixed course of right. I will take heed to my ways. To avoid sin, one had need be very circumspect, and keep one's actions as with a guard or garrison. Unguarded ways are generally unholy ones. Heedless is another word for graceless. In times of sickness or other trouble, we must watch against the sins peculiar to such trials, especially against murmuring and repining, that I sin not with my tongue. Tongue sins are great sins, like sparks of fire, ill words spread, and do great damage. If believers utter hard words of God in times of depression, the ungodly will take them up and use them as a justification for their sinful courses. If a man's own children rail at him, no wonder if his enemies' mouths are full of abuse. Our tongues always want watching, for it is restive as an ill broken horse, but especially must we hold it in when the sharp cuts of the Lord's rod excite it to rebel. I will keep my mouth with a bridle, or more accurately, with a muzzle. The original does not so much mean a bridle to check the tongue as a muzzle to stop it altogether. David was not quite so wise as our translation would make him. If he had resolved to be very guarded in his speech, it would have been altogether commendable. But when he went so far as to condemn himself to entire silence, even from good, there must have been at least a little sullenness in his soul. In trying to avoid one fault, he fell into another. To use the tongue against God is a sin of commission, but not to use it at all involves an evident sin of omission. Commendable virtues may be followed so eagerly that we may fall into vices. To avoid Scylla, we run into Charybdis, while the wicked is before me. This qualifies the silence, and almost screens it from criticism, for bad men are so sure to misuse even our holiest speech, that it is as well not to cast any of our pearls before such swine. But what if the psalmist meant, I was silent while I had prosperity of the wicked in my thoughts? Then we see the discontent and questioning of his mind, and the muzzled mouth indicates much that is not to be commended. Yet if we blame, we must also praise, for the highest wisdom suggests that when good men are bewildered with skeptical thoughts, they should not hasten to repeat them, but should fight out their inward battle upon its own battlefield. The firmest believers are exercised with unbelief, and it would be doing the devil's work with a vengeance if they were to publish abroad all their questionings and suspicions. If I have the fever myself, there is no reason why I should communicate it to my neighbors. If any on board the vessel of my soul are diseased, I will put my heart in quarantine, and allow none to go on shore in the boat of speech till I have a clean bill of health. Yeah, a lot to say in verse 1. Trust you enjoy the meditation. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.